Hey guys, so it's getting close to end of January of 2025, and I always try to get the batteries out around December or January for all the mowers and run them down with the load tester and put them on a good charge. Do each one at a time. I got about 3 or 4 batteries to do, and I've made videos on this before. I'm pretty sure I put one up last year on tips on charging batteries. This year, instead of having another repetitious video, which I'm trying not to do, my load tester has quit working again. It used to have a toggle switch here to kick the load part on and off, and this thing's bad about burning wires up inside. The meter still works. We're reading about 12.5 volts out of this battery. This is the one off of a mower that was junk that I got for free. It's got a blown up engine on it. We're going to try to fix it at some point. But I used this in my mower here last year because I was in need of a battery, and I was thinking, hey, let's try that before I go out and buy another one. And sure enough, it's actually a good battery, so hopefully it remains a good battery this year. It's a good sign showing that much voltage. So let's take this thing apart. It's got 4 screws, and I just kind of want to talk about what always goes wrong with this and my plans for a battery charging station. I keep thinking about it every single year, but keep putting it off doing, and we'll try to do it this summer or late fall or something, but something has to happen. I can't keep messing around with it like this, and the cost of these batteries keep creeping up too, and if I can make one last one more season, why not, you know. So let's tear into this and see what we got to do. So you can see where I fixed it before, and the wires is getting crispy, and every time you run it on, leave it on for longer than just a few seconds, the wires start smoking. It's not really made to be left on real long, but the way I use this, I'm using it, and that's the problem. So now I gotta figure out if the problem's over here. It's more than likely in this, so let me figure out what's going on here. We know we're getting power back out on these little white wires, but there's actually 3 wires here. You got 2 wires in parallel on each one to double the amperage, and this is going to be the last time I fix this. Next time this is going to be taken apart for the parts out of it for a permanent built-in load tester, one of the other thing I was talking about doing. Let's pretty much use this just as the load part and be able to switch between each battery on it and everything. Alright, so with the voltmeter I verified it, this is making contact here, and as always it's the negative side for some reason. It wants to burn up, so we're going to completely redo it. And I'm almost thinking about doing something I've always thought about doing on this, and hooking up a solenoid on it and another switch. That way I can turn it off and still be able to read the gauge like you're supposed to be able to do. This is actually really handy for testing batteries. So I get it set up like that. It's going to look stupid having a solenoid mount on the side because I don't think there's room inside here, but as always I'm going for function over looks. I may not even do that yet, but these wires here hook up to the gauge. But I had just touched this and the wire pulled out of it and just broke, so the wires burn up inside it. So that's what the problem is. It's all oxidized and corroded for some reason. I may have to cut this wire back, shorten it, and find a better section of it. So the red and black wires are parallel together, and the white wires are just read off like that. The only reason there's a separate white wire for the gauge is so it don't pick up on the voltage drop between this and here. Alright, so I got the wire spliced back. I had to cut out several inches of wire in order to get to a good wire. It's all like oxidized and corroded inside. It's kind of weird. It's never been exposed to water as far as I know. But now it's working. And this is the reason you need a switch on it, because that spark can be dangerous because batteries produce hydrogen gas and it can be explosive, so it's not good. The gauge is going down slowly. This will start glowing after it's on for a little bit. I can feel the heat coming off of it. I'm not going to run this battery all the way down yet. Still trying to decide if I really need a solenoid or not, because it's been working pretty good like this. The solenoid would be handy for just reading the voltage, being able to kick it in and out. You hook up a regular switch, it's not going to take the amperage. I've done Found that out twice because I done burn up 2 switches in this. I'm not going to put a cylinder on it right now and wire it up with the switch. We're just going to leave it hooked up straight. This is only used for draining this down pretty much. Only time you really need that solenoid is when you're taking voltage readings, and I can pretty much tell when that starts going down after. See, this battery's pretty weak. It's going down quick already. It's been sitting most of the winter. This is a real good way to put a load on it. Like I said, I'm going to build a battery charging station for doing just this and have all the batteries. Just have it set up for a maximum of like 5 batteries, but have separate chargers on it. That way you can monitor everything. That way, you know, just relying on one charger and having to manually switch it over, they can all be charging at the same time. Just cycle all of them separately like this. Put them all on charge. Then I'll put it on charge until it completely charges, and I may end up cycling them again. I like this little charger. It's been good. It has a desulfate mode too that usually just comes up and says the battery's bad. Won't even try to go into that mode. So we'll go ahead and check the other batteries off camera. I just wanted to share that with you. Basically how I use a load tester to cycle the lawnmower batteries. Always works good until it burns up every year, because I expect too much out of it. But hopefully by next year we can do a video on building, or at least using, the battery charging station for this. Basically doing the same thing but more organized, not having to keep switching everything over. Everything will just hook up like this and be done. So before we end this video, another little tip, I mentioned it several times before, but these larger metal ammo cases hold a battery perfect. Just put your caps on there to protect it, keep anything from shorting out. This battery is real strong. It done did this like 4 times, and it's still in the green on the 200 amp part, and this is only like a 140 amp battery, I think. Now this is a 300, so it's technically still weak, but it's been cycled like 3 times. So once that starts glowing, this wire is getting warm, so I try to keep cycling it on and off like that. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video and continue working on the other batteries. So, anybody can recommend, it's very cheap. See, it's coming up already awful quick, so this battery's probably getting weak. Anybody can recommend some really cheap chargers like this. This is a 4 amp, even a 1 or 2 amp. Just a slow trickle charge would work too. I'm going to need like 4 or 5 of them. These are about $30 a piece now. I don't want to put that much into it. So $5 or $10 a piece would be ideal, but I don't know what's out there. But alright guys, so we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.